Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the Lakers coaching situation because I'm hearing a little more about these names that are coming around. And I was very wrong about the last coaching search. My opinion didn't age well. I had it totally wrong. You know, we were going after Monty Williams, Ty Lue, and of course Frank Vogel, and my choice was Frank Vogel. Um, and I've learned a lot. Whole lot. So now I don't really trust myself going into this the same way I used to. That I'm not as confident that I really know these coaches as well as I will once they are hired. So if anything, I'm more so looking for a type of coach or a preference for a flavor of a type of coach that I'm looking for, and I also have a certain direction that I want the team to go in, of course, and that determines my kind of coach as well. And if you can find a coach that can do a combination of both developing players and a coach who's able to win right away, you know, someone who specializes in both, and that's a difficult thing to find. Um, Now, the names that I'm hearing that the Lakers are going after range everywhere from Doc Rivers to Nick Nurse to um, Mark Jackson. And, you know, you've heard names like, of course, Phil Jackson, Kurt Rambis. You've heard um, several others as well. And, of course, you know, we have our preferences of who we would prefer. Quinn Snyder's also a name that I'm hearing a lot. Um, but, you know, at the end of the day, this is a situation where the Lakers have hired coaches constantly over the last, say, 12 years and haven't really been able to get it right very often. We did win a championship with Frank Vogel, and we appreciate that. But of course, we recognize that his coaching style is not something we wanted to go forward with. And you know, obviously, we should have went a different direction to begin with. So we have to get this right. We have limited assets, as we've talked about ad nauseum for the past year. We obviously have superstars that are you know, coming off a very disappointing season who want to hurry up and win once again. And we have some young stars that we really like that were able to show what type of upside they had near the end of the season, giving us a whole lot to be excited about in regards to their future, and as well as them raising their trade value to dangle in the offseason if we need to, which I hope it does not come to that. But the point is, we have that value in them, so that gives us a certain crossroads, I guess, to try to figure out which way we want to go in terms of either uh, rebuilding or continuing the process of staying with LeBron James. Um, Now, obviously, he has a lot to consider. Obviously, he's up for extension, and he has to go back to the drawing board and figure out if he wants to, you know, stay with the Lakers or look to move on. And you know, obviously Anthony Davis is on contract for another several years, and we're evaluating his health and all of that. But the bottom line is, we're going to need a coach who can both handle whatever the Lakers have going on right now and um, be able to transition to whatever they turn into as changes are made. So for me, um, the type of coach that I'm looking for is somebody who can um, be a strategist, someone who's going to be good at drawing up plays out of timeout, someone who's going to understand um, the details of basketball, and a teacher, someone who can teach the game of basketball not only to young people, but also be a voice that isn't easily tuned out by veterans as well. Um, Someone who's going to come in and have some experience in terms of winning already and establish a cachet. Uh, Someone who, if they haven't won in the NBA ranks, someone who's done it at a high level in college ranks. Um, you know, someone who understands the importance of speed and size and leaving the team um, with everything necessary to win a given basketball game. Coach with feel, sense of timing and someone who understands um, what it takes to build a basketball team over time, and someone who's going to have a demeanor that's going to handle pressure situations, and take accountability for whatever needs to be taken accountability for. And of course, last but not least, someone who's going to keep people motivated, and someone who's going to hold others accountable, and be a voice that others will follow and want to run through a wall for, so to speak. It's the type of coach I'm looking for. Um, Obviously, you're coming to the Los Angeles Lakers, so you understand that we are a universe all to ourselves in terms of our expectations and our culture, and the basic understanding of what it means to be a Laker. That's something that any coach coming into should at least have a basic understanding about. Bottom line, we have 17 championships. We're tied up with the Celtics, and we're in a world of trouble as it pertains to our assets and our circumstance. Coming off the most disappointing season in our history, we are lacking in assets in terms of picks, and LeBron James is 37, going on 38 years of age come next year. And we have Anthony Davis as well, who's obviously having injury issues. And, of course, Russell Westbrook on contract, of whom we hope we can unload his expiring contract of $47 million to somebody who may be willing to give us back multiple players that can help us. So if the Lakers can get a pick out of that, that would be great as well. I think the reality of our situation is we'll probably have to give up assets in order to get back anything worth having. And because of it, we're going to need a coach who can do a whole lot out of a little. Someone who can get a lot out of very little, and someone who can make adjustments. Because we had a whole lot of issues with that with our previous coaching staff. Rarely did we see them stop the bleeding, so to speak. Rarely did we see them put players in positions to take advantage of matchups and exploit strengths and things of that nature. The majority of the time, the Lakers were playing from behind the eight ball. We had players playing, our stars playing center, out of position. And because of it, I think a lot was being asked of them physically, and ultimately wore them down. We just did not see the fruit in trying to balance out and fluctuate minutes between young players and stars. And we just had a lot of things go wrong out there from a schematic standpoint. So if the Lakers really want to make me happy as a fan, they're going to hire a coach who is literally the opposite of all of those issues, the opposite of all of what Frank Vogel provided from that standpoint. One thing I did like about Frank Vogel is he was a good representative of the team. He would basically be someone you could count on to go to the press conference and represent your brand well. He didn't often speak as freely as I would have liked, but I think that was more so of a representative of the environment that the Lakers created with the superstars and all that came with our situation. So hopefully the Lakers will make changes within themselves. The organization will fire whomever needs to be within that front office. And then from there, we can start making better decisions about things like coaches and players and how to do whatever. In regards to our cap. So at this point, that's just what I feel is most important. You can try to hire a coach if you like, but I think you're going to run into a situation where coaches aren't going to be too excited about coming into this situation. And so that's what I think the Lakers are going to run into, as to where, there's a great job open here in Los Angeles. Most days, most years you say, hey, it's a Laker job. Oh my God, we got to fight to get it. But I think most coaches understand that the Lakers situation isn't desirable, and they got their work cut out for them. And if you're a guy like Nick Nurse or Quinn Snyder or Doc Rivers, you know that you're leaving a better roster. You know that you're coming to a Lakers situation that may not be as stable as the one you're leaving. And so I think the Lakers are going to have to sell stability in the midst of all of the chatter about the instability within the front office. I just think it's a very difficult situation to try to present yourself as an attractive destination. So we will see. We will see if the Lakers have any success, getting the guy that they want, and hopefully they'll do right by that person, because obviously the latest is folks are not very happy with how the Lakers handled firing of Frank Vogel, and because of it, what you have is guys like Quinn Snyder and a lot of the media are making it a point to position themselves away from that situation, and the Lakers are going to have to live with the fact that their reputation is pretty much sour at this point in regards to their coaching, and how they handle their coaches, rather. So you got that going on as well. I think the Lakers just have to understand that until they can present themselves as a team that has a good front office, no one's going to take them seriously. And we've been in this situation before with Jim Buss. We know that. Jeannie knows how to fix this situation, and it's just time to enact that plan now. I know she'll probably give Rob Pelinka another year, but I do believe it's wise to move on from him as well, because I think that you have to cleanse yourself, and I've said this once before, of any remnants of whatever that was that we just came out of. It left a bad taste in the mouth of all the fans. It left the team itself looking like a joke. And what I heard from him in the exit interviews, tells me that there's still remnants of that energy in him as well. He's still not quite where he needs to be. He's saying the right things, but when he talks about, for example, what he's looking for in a coach, and I've made a video about it, I just didn't agree. I don't think we needed a motivator. I think we need a strategist. I think we need somebody who's going to come in and help us with offensive plays, etc. So, as I've already said, I just don't think the team and the organization is pointing in the right direction. And, it's not that Rob Pelinka may not be capable of making good moves. It's just that if you look at the track record, there haven't been good moves made a lot of the time, and the good moves that have been made have been undone with bad ones. So we could say it's Braun's fault. Fine, then he needs to be the one that needs to be spoken to and checked, more or less, if that's the case. Some say it's the Rambis family, if that's the case. No different. Whatever the case may be, I think we can all agree that the Lakers have to get a singular voice in their situation. I don't think most organizations have as many people at the top of it. It's too many voices, it's too much confusion, and it's not enough good decisions being made for Laker fans to feel good about their dollars being spent on the team. And so, while the head coach is a very important hire, the fact of the matter is, if you're just setting the head coach up to fail only to fire him again, this is not the way to go. At some point in time, you have to look at yourself. The fans are telling you, the media is telling you, the record of the team and the roster is telling you that it is time to gut this thing from the inside out. And, making a decision here or making a decision there as that same front office, it's not going to help your situation. Let's just put it like this. If you continue doing things the same way, you're going to get the same results. So that's what it is, man. I love my team, but I do not love how things are going right now. And I think we're in the worst situation of any team in the league right now. I really do. The only thing that's keeping us afloat is the fact that we have a healthy LeBron James. And if he walks for nothing, it could set us back 4 years, 5 years. And if he goes down with a knee and drops significantly in value, same goes with AD. Same thing. I just don't like being in that fragile of a situation just so we can have a chance at a couple of championships. And I say a couple because it's LeBron James, you know he's going to compete. But if you can't give him what he needs to win, then you're going to have more seasons like this with him. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Hopefully they get it together. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.